my whole entire career was in finance. Now, a couple of things to note. 19 plus. I've been saying that for a while, and I think I'm going to continue saying that. Makes me just feel that little bit younger. Another thing to note is that part of my career, my entire career, I've been here in Europe for 25 years. So my specialty was reporting back to a US parent company, and I had helping them deal with their group, but then I had to run the international operations, which included my own consolidations, my own kind of being the liaison between that US parent and then the European staff and trying to make it all work. The accent, I've been here 25 years, I've still got this American accent. There's a kind of my brain, that part of my brain that deals with accents does not process for short-term, long-term, subconsciously. There's nothing, and I'll kind of mention this as well, kind of going into this next slide, because we want to talk about the history of finance, ERP, and also artificial intelligence, getting into that smart growth that you've already heard a little bit about today. So if we go back to paper, the innovation during this age was very slow. It would take decades. If you just wanted to add one column onto a report, it would take decades for the whole industry to actually make that change. So again, it was very slow. And of course, there's no artificial intelligence at all during this stage. You then jump into the mainframe computers, which use a little bit of software and things like that. Of course, there's many limitations. It's very expensive. So for most businesses, they were still back in that paper age. But there was a lot of work being done because they saw that this was the future. One of the big limitations here was that they could not store commands. They could only execute. That's very similar to my accents. I couldn't store it. So that part of my brain's like that mainframe. But again, AI started to begin here, but it was very basic. It wasn't until we then kind of got into the personal computers, personal servers, devices. This has dramatically changed software. Business programming pushed the industry forward, and you had large-scale systems. There were many advances, and things were now much faster. The innovation during this period was just picking up more and more, and great systems out there. But there were still a few limitations. Now, those limitations were things like you were still on that one single server, so that meant not everybody was on the same version. You were going through long implementations. You were coding, scripting. There was a lot of risk there. And then once you started using the system, you couldn't really make changes that easily either. You had to go back and recode and rescript. So again, there were those limitations. Now, AI moved forward, but it was a lot of effort with small gains because they were having to train the AI on a specific single task. We've now gone into the true cloud age. It's a whole different age here. It's not just software that's sitting in the cloud. If you have a server in the cloud, you're still in that software age because you still have those same problems, those same limitations. What you're looking for now is where everybody's on the same version. And you're getting regular updates from product. So let me explain. Think of that software age, personal computers and all. If a product company built functionality, nobody was using it. They had to then sell it one by one and implement it one by one. Whereas now, true cloud, when the product company builds something, everyone has access to it. Sometimes it's just enabling it. There might be an extra module or something that you have to use a bundle to get into, but because everyone's on the same version, everybody has that ability to access it. This also includes partners, right? If you have that kind of true cloud system technology, open API, and you've been around for decades, you have a strong partner community that can actually go and actually build within your product. Or they might have something separate that you integrate with. Either way, this is just, those partners are an extension of the product team because they're working together. Partners aren't going to build it if product are going to build it as well. So they're working together. Now, when you talk about AI, there was a recent change, or a new development. It was a foundation-type model. Remember when I said back in that earlier days, software age, personal computers, they were training AI on one specific task. This foundation-type model is being able to take a lot of data, learn from it, and then when you start to use it, you're just tuning it with your specific data, or maybe kind of, prompting it type thing. And so this wouldn't have been possible in that personal computer, personal server type age, because it just, for you to create it from scratch would just take too much effort. So again, now that we're in the true cloud age, they've developed this new model of training AI. This is why we've seen so much activity in these last couple of years. So to be successful, I'm always going to talk about three things. It's never about one. It's never about just the technology. The technology is that one thing. I've already talked about it, right? It's all those different types of things of the single database, everyone on the same version. Processes. The processes, everything has a process. It could be an external, could be internal, could be manual. Even if it's internal, could be manual, could be automated. Everything you do is a process. And then there's people. The people are running the processes as part of their job, and they are also making improvements to the processes, to the technology, trying to move things that were external and get it internal. And once it's internal, now let's try to make it more automated. One thing we're not trying to say is that you need everything in the system and everything to be automated, because you can manage by exception. Once you build up a lot of exceptions, or one exception that has a high volume, well, that's when the people are starting to try to make improvements to those processes in that technology for that exception to make it more standard and automated. The things you're looking for making improvements: visibility, efficiency, and automation, right? Everything that you have in that single database, you need to get access to. You need to explain it to not just your finance team, but other departments. AI is basically going to help make all of this faster. Running processes, actually finding improvements, and I'll get into that as well. So let's talk about this here. So the first thing, assistance. The assistant capabilities. This is talking about automating well-defined tasks. So let's talk about basic data entry, your accounts payable, your accounts receivable, journal entries. Okay, it's going to help assist the people with all of those processes. Another big one is account reconciliation. Already, we've built account reconciliation to be automated. Where AI is going to go in is being able to do it faster for the reconciliation, and also learning from it, and trying to help the people out even more with those larger volumes of data. And this way, instead of just concentrating on accounts payable, accounts receivable, bank, and maybe one key account, actually, it could help out with all accounts. You may have been limited based on the technology process people that you had in place earlier. What we're saying here is that artificial intelligence is helping the people looking at those processes, procedures that you have in place, making sure they're followed, helping out, maybe advising, and that's what we'll get to on that second point. And of course, it's all in the technology. So the workloads are increased. Keep in mind, everything still needs to be managed and approved because finance people definitely want to reduce the risk. We're responsible. You can't, people are still responsible for all of these numbers and everything going on. So again, artificial intelligence is there to help. But it's the speed and accuracy, detecting anomalies, spotting warning signals. Again, humans were already doing this. We've already built it in. Artificial intelligence is going to take it to that next level. AI technologies that assist with the tasks are optimization workhorses. And these will save your staff time, improve that reliability, follow your rules, and it will hone the processes. Advisory. This is the fun stuff now. Because remember, accountants, accountants were always doing these manual tasks over and over, reconciliations, month end. Accountants didn't get into this job, this career, to just do the same thing every day. A lot of them wanted to help improve a company, but they don't have the time to even get to this advisory stage. So this is where, first, if you help assist, you're then able to say, great, now I'm going to spend more time on the advisory. And the artificial intelligence can help with this as well. So it can generate unique business insights, kind of helping you to justify that confident decision-making that you want. You, the other departments, the board, investors, potential investors. AI can do this with so much more larger amounts of data, financial and also operational. Businesses are just creating so much more data now. And so for humans to be able to do this or to write a program to do this is just taking too much time. This is where the artificial intelligence can help. Let's talk about some specific areas like your predictive analysis, like forecasting. But we're not just talking about one set of numbers like a budget or a rolling forecast. What about scenario planning? What if all of a sudden someone in your company is a superstar, they do something, and it goes viral? Well, your customers are going to be affected, so you have a lot more customer demand. Also, you've got to then deliver that, okay? What about your vendors, your suppliers? Are they able to cope with that? Are you going to need multiple vendors and suppliers? Do you have them on backup, on standby? Have you tested them? What about your employees who then have to deliver? Do you need more contractors, more people? That's just one scenario. You can have scenarios, various ones. So again, it's not just having a high, a low, and a medium. You need at least 4 in there. Artificial intelligence can take this to that next level and really start to help identify and help you prepare and plan and have a foundation so that when there is a change in this world, you're not trying to create all of this from scratch. You already have a base foundation there to begin with. Everybody's going to have to deal with changes. That's what the people are doing. We're sitting there and working on it, but trying to come up with these multiple scenarios and keep them updated on a month-to-month basis. This is where, again, artificial intelligence can help. So at a high level, you've got demand planning into customer buying behavior. But if you look at a more granular level, you're looking at maybe leveraging the data on your customer purchase history to help increase the volume, the frequency that they're buying. And also those supply chain risks, trying to help identify that as well. I mentioned the stairway, making improvements, right? It can also support you by helping you identify the areas of further improvement for better visibility, better efficiency, better automation. Where are you at a high risk of an error? Things like that, it can start to point you out. And this way, instead of dealing with everything manually, the assisting, the people can spend more time on the advisory. The AI technologies will advise and guide leaders supporting business decision-making to hopefully improve those future outcomes. Now, I mentioned that last point, the platform. It's because none of this is going to be possible if you don't have that strong foundation in your technology platform. And not only that, it's the processes and the people. So you've got the technology, the unified information. This is all departments, all teams globally, all that data. But your processes, you can have processes globally that are strong. Absolutely, you can have a slightly different process in a certain country because it's a legal requirement there. Absolutely, you definitely want to have that flexibility. But if you have this strong foundation, that's what you're looking at. And the AI is going to improve the awareness to all the people, and we're talking about business partnering. Right? We're talking about getting the information out, all that analysis. So this assisting, this advising, start with the finance team. But ultimately, once you've gone up the stairway, improved your finance team, you can now start to go out and business partner, telling all those departments, the board, the investors, and getting all of this to them as well. AI technologies will simplify the specific business tasks and empower better decision making. Last year, this was all about the true cloud system with fintechs being able to scale with ease. But now, huge topic in just the last year, when you combine that with AI, fintechs can unlock the smart growth, right? Start with the foundation, technology, process, people. You go up the stairway within your finance department and then extend it out. Consumer buying patterns are more unpredictable. Demand for services are outstripping the capacity to actually deliver. Skilled workers are harder to find and keep. Right? AI technologies are going to be part of this new world, assisting and advising, helping predict future outcomes to support the decision making. Today is the age of accountants and auditors. And I'm not going to get into the auditors today. That's a whole other discussion. But this is not to continue as before. This is to evolve, right? To be the central business partner, the finance team for the entire business. That is not going to be the future. That's already today. And you've heard about it already on stage here in the last presentation. You're going to hear about it so much more and have discussions and hear about it today and tomorrow. So thank you and good luck today.